Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ultimate Manifestation Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Sean Robert Grant, a.k.a. Sean Robert Grant. I enjoy that. You know, there's a distinct reason why I do that, because I can remember I started doing these podcasts a few years back, and one of the listeners was looking for me. And they Googled Reverend Sean Robert Grant, but there was nothing on that at the time because I hadn't switched over my Instagram yet or anything like that. And they were like, I can't find you. Where are you? You know? And so I was like, oh, you know what? You have to look up Sean Robert Grant. And then a slew of things just came up. But it was important to really clarify that because sometimes, you know, if you're not as easily Google or Googleable, if that's a word, you got to ensure that you give people something that is Googleable, so they can find you and see all the good stuff from there. But that's just the story behind it. That's why I always say, AKA Sean Robert Grant. Anyway, guys, hope you're doing well today. Hope all is fantastic with you. We are diving into money. Want to thank you guys for joining us the last few days on the episodes that we've had. We're getting really, really great traction and feedback from those things. And, you know, I'm feeling the wave of just diving into the process of manifestation and all things manifestation, whether it be money, health, everything. You know, it's really a joy to just get down to it and really tap in to the essence of what matters, right? And what allows us to do and have the very best of life that we can. So before we get into that, as always, guys, if you have any feedback, any correspondence, any type of questions you might have, we are an open book. Please write to us at shaung04@gmail.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can, without a shadow of a doubt. And yeah, also feel free to share this podcast with anybody. I know it's broadcasting around the world, which is awesome. 8 different platforms, also being copied and pasted to my YouTube channel, or synced rather, not copied and pasted. But feel free to share that. Feel free to share it if you feel like it will help somebody. Other than that, thank you in advance for your support. You guys are wonderful. Let's get into it today. Money manifesting made easy. Okay. Money is your true birthright. And so I have had one of the strongest passions around money. And the reason being is it was such a challenging topic when I was growing up. Not that I was just flat out dirt poor and impoverished, but I'm going to tell you something, and it may resonate with you. Sometimes having money and being afraid to use it is just as challenging as not having any money at all. And so that first one is the thing that I found a lot of my family members struggle with and a lot of my relatives struggle with. But I also saw the other side of it where people just didn't know how to create or how to manifest money. And you know, how could you unless you just came out of the womb from this soul planet that, you know, really was going to spread prosperity everywhere. Talking about myself, that is. No. But when I was growing up, there just wasn't anybody who was into that, who even remotely knew what that was, right? They just didn't. It wasn't a situation where at any point in time there was ever someone who could, you know, how do I put it? There just wasn't anyone there who could articulate what it was that I was going through and what it was that was needed in order to understand the truth of being able to flourish with money. That's what I was trying to say. But anyway, I'm grateful that I have been blessed with the passion. I've been blessed with the opportunity, rather, to really go after that. And I want to share with you guys what I've come to the conclusion of. And so I've said this in the past, and I said this on my Money Cure podcast. Money is an expression of your energy. Okay? Money is a byproduct of your energy. And so what we mean by that is that anything that's an expression or a byproduct of your energy is due large part in cause to the frequency and the vibration that you normally resonate at, right? And so here's what I mean. Your home is a byproduct of your energy. Your car is a byproduct of your energy. Your spouse, your significant other is a byproduct of your energy. The way your body looks is a byproduct of your energy. It is all a byproduct of your energy. Okay? And so the moment we understand that, we immediately find that it has absolutely nothing to do with anything that happens outside of us. Everything outside of us is just the result. Now, the beauty is, and I stated this in the paragraph in the beginning, this is the joy, right? The joy that comes full circle from it. It is no reason whatsoever that anybody should struggle with the concept of money. It's just not meant to be for any of the almost nearly 8 billion people. Nobody should ever have to struggle. When people struggle, what happens is they choose to limit the infinite within themselves. You see, we can look at animals all day long out in the wild, and somehow or another, you know, the most interesting thing I've always found with wild animals is that I'm like, somehow or another, they always get fed. Somehow or another, they always get shelter. Somehow or another, they're always taken care of. And I thought to myself, this is before I even started learning the concept of abundance. I thought to myself, if the all that is would do this for these animals, what more is it doing for us? Well, the beauty is it gave us the power to think and create. But what happens is most of us take that power and create the absolute most adverse, challenging circumstances because that's what we've been taught. That's what we've been conditioned to do. You know what I'm saying? So when you've been conditioned to do that, what winds up happening is instead of you living in unlimited wealth, prosperity, abundance with, an abundant supply of money, you find yourself struggling immensely because you've taken your creative power and your creative energy and you've created lack in a situation where there can be no lack. But because we live according to free will, the universe lets you live in lack. Now, this is truthfully and utterly remarkable, to say the least. And why? Because it shows you how much power you have. It shows you how much you have been endowed with from a creative standpoint to basically choose the life you want, but more importantly, choose the life that you resonate with. And so, although this podcast is about money, this happens in every single area. Once again, our life is a byproduct of our energy. So I usually do these podcasts at my desk in my office, and I look around at everything that's a byproduct of my energy. And one of the most important things that surrounds me are the books that I've written and a couple that I've co-written with my wife. And so those are they're things that I'm so proud of because it was me using my divinely ordained creative energy and expressing it in a way that allowed me to bless other people. And I'll never get tired of looking at it. I just never get tired of looking at it. It makes me so thrilled and so grateful to know that I was able to do that because I chose to use that power the divine power to create abundance that was given to me. I chose to use it in a way that would make me limitless as opposed to limited. And you might be in a space where you're feeling like I'm limited. But the reality is we're only limited because we're separating ourselves from our good. You see, when I say things are a byproduct of your expression, it still means that they're connected to you, right? They're connected to you. And they're connected to you because you are one with everything, right? That's one of the biggest, most important laws. The law of oneness, coined properly, that says we are absolutely one with everything in the universe. There is nothing that is separate from us, because although it looks like it's separate in the material world, when we go to the deeper spiritual, energetic world, we begin to see that it's all connected. It's all just one big pool of energy resonating in binding with a likeness in with everything. And my life changed with money the day I understood that. You see, my biggest struggles came about when money was all about something outside of me that I had to get. It wasn't about something that I was creating along the way, something that I was embodying that was then expressing itself. I always had problems whenever I would separate money from myself. And what's amazing is I used to wonder, well, why is it that I have so much success in other areas? And then when it comes to money, I can't figure it out. It was because with those other areas, I was completely dialed in and connected, completely one with that thing. No problems whatsoever. No emotions, blinding me from seeing the truth of things. But when it came to money, I would separate myself almost immediately. Why? Because I didn't know about my birthright. I didn't also know that it's a byproduct of my energy. It's an expression of my energy, right? I had to get to a place where I could learn that. I had to get to a place where I could understand that the truth of the matter is that I am here to not just prosper, but to thrive and prosper in every single area of my life. Money not excluded from that. And another thing I think that contributes to this is there's so much of a lack of self-worth. And I love listening to Bashar because Bashar puts it perfectly. He says, it's impossible for you to feel worthless. It's impossible for you to have a lack of self-worth because the infinite cannot be lacking anything. The infinite cannot be unworthy under any stretch. So I look at my situation and I'm like, man, I'm fighting for my own limitations. I'm fighting for my own limitations. Much like so many other people out there. But what happens if I say, you know what, I'm going to let go of my limitations, and all of a sudden I'm going to step into my limitlessness. I'm going to understand that regardless of what's happening around me, there's a truth that tells me that I am supposed to thrive and I am equipped to thrive, and I will always thrive no matter what happens. And I can expect that even when it looks like life is going to hell in a handbasket. I can thrive. Why? Because I know that I've been programmed to. I know that the divine has given me every single thing, and it's connected me to every single thing, so that at a moment's notice, whenever I need something, instantly I know I have that thing because I am one with it. You see, the biggest problem, I think, in the Western world is the idea, once again, of money being a separate entity. And a lot of times they want you to believe that. Why? Because here's the thing. They want you to believe that because if you believe that, the truth of the matter is you'll never get to a space where you will make a lot of money. You just won't. Because how can you thrive in something you don't feel one with? If you look at your life, you'll begin to see all those things you become one with, I begin to identify with, you thrive. You know, if you can think of, something right now or something when you were a kid that you're really good at, a lot of times it's done on a subconscious level. Why? Because you've allowed yourself to converge with that oneness. You've tapped into that oneness with that thing. And then all of a sudden there's a flow. There's not even necessarily a thinking, but a flow where the energy takes over and it just allows you to operate so smoothly in that thing. And that's where we're supposed to be with money, right? We're not in a space where we're not supposed to be in a space where we have to think about it, where we have to stay up all night and stress about it, where we have to say, oh man, how is this happening? None of that is supposed to happen. But if that's happening, then we really have to dive within and say to ourselves, you know what? Something's got to change. Something's got to be better. Because if something's not better, then I'm not tuning in to my infinite capacity, to my divine essence. That tells me that there's a divine bounty, a divine trust waiting and ready for me to access right here, right now. Now, I've given you a lot here, but the one thing I want you to understand is just know there can be no limitation in the infinite, in God, in the universe. There can be no limitation. If we see limitation at any place in time, at anywhere, it's up to us to stop and say to ourselves, okay, if I'm experiencing limitation on some level, here's what I need to do. What in me is causing this limitation? What in me is blocking me from seeing my infinite ability, my infinite essence, my infinite capacity? Because once I'm able to do that, I can step right into that limitlessness and manifest outrageous sums of money, right? Once again, we only chase. I said once again, I didn't say this. It's the first time I'm saying this. We only chase what we feel separate from. Everything else we become one with, and we express it freely. You find you're chasing something in you has separated it from you. Something in you has led you to believe that that thing is better than you. Something in you has led you to believe that you are not worthy of being one with that thing. And that's powerful, because once you realize that awareness, you can snip, cut it loose and understand, you know what? I am one with everything in this universe. And because everything is one with me, nothing can be in lack and limitation whatsoever. Everything has to thrive in abundance. And that's the reality. And nothing can stop that unless I decide to stop it. And I can only stop it with my thoughts, my creative energy, and my ability to believe that this is my birthright, as opposed to wealth, prosperity, abundance, and infinite money. That's the only thing that can stop it. Other than that, nothing can stop it. Right? Nothing can stop it. So no one at any point in time, anywhere, is supposed to live in poverty. No one at any point in time, anywhere, is supposed to live in struggle. Life creates life. Life supports life. Life makes life abundant. Right? And you can change life out with God, but it just does. It makes life abundant in every single sense. And for whatever divine reason, God has given us the power to think and create the world that we want to see, to manifest the world that we choose to have. But it's up to us to use that power to our advantage and not to our detriment. That's all it is. So before I wrap up, I want to tell you, no matter where you are today, guys, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what you have come up against, no matter how hard and challenging and difficult circumstances look, remember you are one with your good. You are united with limitlessness, divine unlimited essence. That is your true being, which means every single thing that you require to live your best life is here and now as energy. And when we use our most powerful source of energy, which is our attention, we place that focus on it, it can manifest it, and it can manifest it easily. All you really need to do is plant the seed within the subconscious to allow this thing to grow and to show up in your life in ways nobody can even imagine, because the ways of the subconscious, the ways of the divine, are beyond understanding, because it's of a higher mind. But you let the higher mind know what you want and what you desire, and it will give it to you without a shadow of a doubt. Why? Because it's limitless. Money manifestation is made easy because you are limitless. What you truly are is limitless. Money is your birthright because you are limitless. What you are made of is limitless. You can have whatever you choose to have. But if it does not show up, right, one or two things are happening. One, you're misaligned with what is entitled for your highest good. Two, you're tapping more into the limitation than you are the unlimitedness within yourself. It can only be those two things if you find yourself struggling. That's it. One, as we stated, you're misaligned with what it is that you're feeling like you need or choose to have. And the second one, or two, you're tapped into a limitation. And all you got to do is find out, what is it? What is it that's limiting me? And then move right back into that essence of infinite supply, that essence of unlimitedness, that divine essence of truth that says the divine bounty and trust is waiting to be released into your life in whatever way you require, showing up even before you ask. It's ready, it's willing, it's able, it's there. Remember, money is your birthright. There's no such thing as struggle. Don't allow struggle to be a reality in your life when your birthright is abundance, is prosperity, is affluence, is riches, is infinite money. Refuse to allow it. Find out where the limitation is and reap the rewards, reap the benefits. Not even a reward, because you don't have to do anything for it. It's a benefit. It's a benefit of originating and animating into the essence of this earth as a human being, as a divine being having a human experience. It is ready to be released into your life. Let go of the limitation. Tap into the limitlessness, and you will receive it in ways none of us can imagine, and that's the beauty of it. Guys, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. As always, if you have any questions, any feedback, any comments, please write to us, shaung04@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And what else? Oh, yeah. Please feel free to share this episode, share this podcast with anybody you feel that can benefit from it. And we greatly appreciate you. Thank you to everybody around the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, the rest of the way. and we will talk soon. Thanks so much. Signing off. Take care.